So
Fluent and chill, yeah, we call it how it's played. From the field to the court, every legend gets weighed. Fourth quarter heat over 2-minute drill. If you can't handle truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron and MJ, we break that smoke.
What the closest thing to perfection will that make you?
Stats don't lie, we just let us build. This is real talk sports, welcome to Fluent and Chill. Fluent and chill, yeah, we call it how it's played. From the field to the court, every legend gets weighed.
Right, that's probably the end of the musical interlude that we're going to do. So we are live on TikTok, we are live on Chilltown Hoops YouTube, we are live on Sports Fluent YouTube, and we're live on X, as a matter of fact. Chill must got his boy on today with this weird ass, goofy, hating ass title. Ooh, man, you say anything like not like I love LeBron, and boy, these LeBronaholics just like going crazy.
Well, remember who you are, though, Tone. I mean, let's be honest. If we're being honest about this whole thing, you are a troll when it comes to James. So
I am a realist.
You are 100% a troll when it comes to James. In fact, you've said numerous times to me how much you like to troll James. And the reason why the people are with you,
I don't like to troll James. I like to troll his fans who are oblivious to reality. Right? Like you have that friend of yours. I'm not even going to call him out because I don't. That friend of yours that you talk to quite frequently who lives down south there by you, and he's partnered up with another fake ass dude, and like they pretend to be basketball dudes, but all they do is literally lie and hate on a 60-year-old man. And so yeah, I love
that's what I'm talking about right there. That right there is what I'm talking about.
It's a fact.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Put it. If a guy says to you, he never lies, and then I literally have a post where he posted 9 stats about Michael Jordan, and I proved that 8 of them were a lie. So bad that I proved those 8 were a lie that he posted a video saying, "You know what, Fluent? Yeah, you got us. You're right." I have it. I have it recorded in 4K. You can't.
That's not to say that it didn't happen. I just never seen it, Tone. That's where I'm at.
I'll send you the link. Please, because anytime he calls me a liar, I just send him that, and he goes, "Oh, you want to hang your hat on that?" I'm like, "Yeah." When I caught you lying 8 out of 9 times, yeah, I'm gonna hang my hat on that.
Absolutely. I mean, if I got something wrong, the last thing that I want to do is spread misinformation. I don't want to.
And then his new partner, Fakes Yes Frauds. His new partner, that's their name, Fakes Yes Frauds, FYF, posted a Chat GPT just dropped a new top 10. That's not how it works. I know you don't know. Yeah, I do. I run a company where I'm the head of their AI. And let me tell you, Chat GPT does not drop a top 10 list. Chat GPT is prompted. You ask it to do something. You tell it to do something. And you could prompt it to say, Jermaine Womack is the #1 greatest NBA player of all time. Who's number 2 through 10? And it'll say, great, here's the top 10 list. Jay's at #1, Fluent's at number 2. And it tells you what you want. So it doesn't just randomly say, here's a top 10 list. So I went, and what did I hear from them? Crickets. And someone asked them about it on one of their lives. And I'm not on their lives, but someone told me this story. So I hope that it's true because now I'm sharing it. And said, hey, what about that? Well, we're not going to respond to it. If he wants to reply, he should come on our live. And I'm like, I went to your boy's page, and the only time he gets big views is when I'm in the video. And I'm not even that big, but everything's like a couple hundred. All of a sudden I see Fluent 5,000, 6,000, which isn't. But when you're seeing 300, 200, Fluent 5,000, and then it's 100, 300, Fluent 6,000. I'm like, why should I come on your live? I proved you wrong. I win. I am the winner. Yes, go ahead. Go try to defend him. Go nuts.
Since we on the subject of winning, and since we on the subject of proving people wrong, looks like James is about to be active by proving people wrong. Again, we're in season 23 and we're getting back to it. And it looks like he's proving people wrong. But
was he proving wrong? He's proving you wrong. You're the one who said he should retire and hang him up. I'm the one who said he should be playing.
Yes, I did. He 100% is proving me wrong. I've been saying for years this should have been over. We're in year 23. I thought that after the bubble he should have hung him up. Then and in 21, when that happened, okay, fine. Then in 22, when they lost in the Western Conference Championship in 23, they got swept. I'm like, yo, what we still doing here? Why are we still here?
I have a video. It just showed up on my TikTok. I have a video of us talking on this show like 3 years ago, and you saying he's like 37 years old or 35 years old. I forget how old he was, like, but he was 30, and you're like, look, it's not that anymore. It's this new James where he'll give you one good game and I'm like, no, dude, he's still got it. And you were saying no, he's done.
Clearly,
you were saying he's done, and I was defending him.
Clearly, I was wrong. Yep.
Yeah,
Clearly,
let the dude play. Speaking of let them play, I gotta ask you, how do you feel about your boy?
Who's that?
Shaquille O'Neal becoming the new football coach at LSU.
Shaq is not the new football coach.
Thank LSU, the administration, the players, and the fans for trusting me with this opportunity. Coming back here feels like coming home, and I'm excited to get to work. We're going to play tough, smart, disciplined.
Oh my God! I if there's anything that I have, I don't think that I have anything. I don't have more disdain for anything than I do AI. I hate AI. I'm not a fan of it at all. I swear, it makes me nuts.
I didn't even. You know who made that?
No, who made that?
Shaq.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That makes it even worse. It probably was him. That would surprise me.
We are connected on Sora. We're like follow each other on Sora, and he I showed you the ones he does dancing with Marilyn Monroe, and he's doing. Yeah, he is having a lot of fun on Sora. I'll tell you that.
Oh my goodness, man, this guy. So, Tone, this guy right here, you know the guy in the cafeteria who's in the back of the cafeteria. He'll throw food and then run out of the cafeteria. That's who this guy is. Now he's the clown who tells jokes in the back of the cafeteria, but as soon as you confront him, he's gone.
Well,
and
why do you say that? Do you feel that Steph's not the? I don't even think Steph's a point guard, but why do you think he's not the best point guard in the league?
Because SGA exists, because Shea still exists. That's why he's not the best. He's not better than those guys. He's still the best shooter in the game. I'm not going to argue that at all. You won't get an argument out of me from that at all. Now, there are guys who can shoot the basketball. Anthony Edwards, I think, has done a great job in shooting the basketball. Donovan Mitchell has also been really good at shooting the basketball. He's been a little bit up and down. I think he's been a little bit up and down. But he's also done a great job. It's very difficult to deal with Steph Curry fans off the strength that they're so delusional. It's like Cowboy fans. Almost.
It's like LeBron fans.
No. It's not even close. It's not even. It's like I said. It's like Cowboy fans, and with Cowboy fans, the delusion is just unbelievable. I swear, and I promise you, Tone. I lose years off my life talking to Steph Curry. Steph Curry, not fans. I lose years off my life talking to Steph Curry fanatics. Those two things ain't the same thing. Fanatics
fan is a fanatic.
Yes, it is. But there's a difference between a fanatic and a fan. And here's what I mean when I say that, Tone. I can be a fan. I can be a fan of somebody. Like I'm a fan of Beyonce. I think she's dope. Yes, I'm a fan of Beyonce. No doubt about that. I'm a fanatic of Michael Jackson. I think he's the greatest entertainer to ever live, and you can't talk me off that hill. There's no way you can talk me off that. With Steph Curry fans, there's actually no talking reason with them, right? There's no talking basketball with fanatics of Steph Curry. Now, with fans of Steph Curry who are also fans of the game and understand basketball, you can actually talk to them, and we can have conversations, as opposed to people like the fanatics of Steph Curry. Man, they're awful. They take years off my life.
Is it because
I do what I can not to talk to them. I do.
Is it because they feel Steph changed the game?
I think that has something to do with it, but I also think that they're so emotionally attached to him off the strength of who he is and how much they feel connected to him. That, and on top of that, the fact that we're coming on that, we're coming up on a time when I think that the clock is ticking on Curry. So we have to get as much as we can possibly get from him at this particular time, because when it's over, it's over. So I think that there's people who are defending him more and more today than they ever have. And I don't think that there's any reason to defend him. For what?
I think what you're saying though is true of all fans, because there's a fan base. When you try to distinguish between fan and fanatic, even though technically it's the same thing, but I know what you're saying. There's there's like the regular, and then there's the extremist, right? And you're talking about the extreme fanatic. And so in every fan base, there is an extreme fanatic. And Steph
like that right there.
Mr. King in the finals.
See what I'm talking about? See what I mean, Tom?
So I'm address that. Doesn't every fan base have a section of it that is a fanatic, like an extreme fanatic that thinks, for example, LeBron, I go back to your boy quickly. There's your guy,
James Kingdom.
Coach James, who says they will never say anything negative about LeBron. And we all know there's negatives, because there's negatives about every player, and they will, and they've on record said, I will never say anything negative about him. Well, in that case, you're an extreme fanatic who you shouldn't be talking, because you can't be subjective about it.
Yep.
So isn't there a Kobe fan who thinks Kobe was perfect because he's the evolution of Jordan, and he was perfect offensively and defensively? None of that's true. I can admit about Magic, his flaws, like tragic Magic was a real thing, but there are people, Magic's the best, Kareem's the best, whoever did. KD, I have KD who's not even in most people's top 15, and people are like, he's the GOAT. No, he's not. But they like, well, look at what he does, because they've attached themselves to either one thing, and I think Steph is the same thing. They've attached themselves to kind of one thing that he does. You know, I used someone in the TikTok chat said, how did he change the game? I don't think that he did change the game, to be honest, but there is that narrative. And if you believe in that and you think any of those things are true, you can latch on to that one thing. And it sucks when you're trying to have a normal conversation, because everybody's definition of things are different. And Teddy Hart hits us with a super chat at perfect timing. Teddy, I appreciate you. And it says, if you could change point guard to mean playmaking guard and shooting guard to mean scoring guard, then we can stop having to rank guys like Magic, Stockton, CP3 on the same list with Steph, Dame, and SGA. And then all will be right in the world. Well, it's funny that he says that, because the point guard, by definition, is a playmaking guard who has the ball in his hands more than he doesn't. The two, or the shooting guard or the off guard, is the one who plays off ball more. So you're actually
wait. Don't stay right there, Tone. And the shooting guard plays off ball and does what, Tone? And
scores. It's also known as a scoring guard. Yeah. So that is actually the definition. The problem is the definitions have stayed stagnant, but the roles have expanded, right? Like it used to be a center block shots, rebounded, posted up. Now center brings up the ball, passes, shoots threes, but they're still expected to do those other things too. So it's tough to define these roles. Like a stretch four. How do you define a stretch four?
A stretch four is a guy who does. Actually, I don't think it's tough at all, Tone. And the reason why I don't think it's tough is because what a stretch four is literally exactly what you just said. I'm stretching my role. What exactly do I do as a four-man? I do the dirty work. I get underneath the basket. I rebound. I play post defense. I run the floor. I defend at a high rate. But I don't just defend on the box. I also defend on the perimeter. In addition to that, playing offense, I don't just play down low on the box. I play in transition. I'm a stop and pop big. I also play in pick and roll. I play in pick and pop. That's stretching away from the basket. That's what I'm when I think about a stretch four. I'm just stretching the distance that I play, and I'm expanding where I play on the floor. That doesn't mean that I don't still do four-man things, though. I still do four-man things. I still get on the glass. I still defend in the post. I'm still diving on the floor for loose balls. I'm still doing all the dirty work stuff that four men do, in addition to me being a stretch four on offense.
And this is something where it says talent expanded. That's actually really wrong. It's actually really, really wrong, because talent. Oops, did I click that or did you go?
I did not.
Talent expanded is really it's an incorrect assessment, because talent is something that you're born with. So that hasn't expanded. 7-footers aren't born with the ability to shoot a three or dribble.
No, they're not.
In fact, probably
learn how to do that.
Nobody is born. That's not talent. Okay, those are skills. Now, skills have been expanded, but why have skills been expanded? Well, because we've asked players to do more. We don't, whereas in the past, it's not that there was a center who couldn't dribble and shoot. They were literally not allowed to, right? They were told, this is your position. And if you want to play, if you want to make it to college, if you want to make it to the NBA, this is what I need you to do. Now, every once in a while, someone broke that mold or fought the system, but it didn't. Listen, if I were to make it a race thing, okay, listen to this. Warren Moon wasn't allowed to play quarterback and had to go play in Canada to prove that he could play quarterback so that the NFL, but it wasn't because of his skill or talent. It was because of the color of his skin. Why do I bring that up? It sounds like a crazy analysis. It's because people told 7-footers, you're not allowed to dribble. We won't let you play here if you dribble. And then they had no choice. So I just want to make that clear. That wasn't allowed. And now it's expected. Which is hard.
And I want to expand on that part right there, Tone. Okay, well, where did that come from? Why is the big man now expected to handle the basketball? Why is the big man now expected to play 17 feet away from the basket, 20 feet away from the basket? Where did that come from? Because that wasn't always a thing. No. I was the most effective when I was around the basket. The offense was ran through me playing on the box. Now the offense isn't ran through me. The offense is ran with me playing on the perimeter, like what's going on with Joker playing in the mid-range. Joker's being more of a wing guy, and they run cross action, they run split action, they run dribble handoffs off of Joker. Where did this come from? Well, I think that this came from smaller guards, and this came from smaller guards expanding the game. And now you have to be able to do that. And I think that they saw, and I think that people saw Curry. I think that people saw, well, even before Curry, I think that people saw Nash, and they saw Boris Diaw, and they saw how fast they played, and Sean Marion, how they stretched the defense, but they didn't win it. They were making deep playoff runs, but they didn't win it. But then you into Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and now these guys win. And okay, that's the formula. You need backcourt guys who can stretch the defense. Now, of course, you're not going to get guys who stretch the defense like Curry. You're not going to get guys who stretch the defense like Klay Thompson in combination. That's not going to happen.
Because those guys, this is why Curry ruined the game more, as much as he changed the game and made it better. I love Steph. Steph is in my top 10 favorite players of all time. Okay. And ranked higher than Jordan, ranked higher than LeBron, ranked higher than a lot of guys. Steph is high on my list. Like, I think he's top 5 or 6 on my favorites list to watch and play, because he does what I dreamt of doing. However, he made everybody think they could shoot logo threes, and that was a good idea. And the fact is, they can't. Just like Joker is making people think all 7-footers can bring up the ball and facilitate an offense. They can't. And it's interesting because as much as the talent has expanded so much and so many players can do so many more different things than they used to, I wonder, and I'm not saying this is true. I'm looking at the TikTok camera. I'm looking at this camera. I don't know that this is true. I wonder, has the players' focus on doing everything diluted them being able to do one thing? So are they a jack of all trades, masters of none? Right?
No,
any big man give me a big man that has supreme footwork and post up moves right now.
A big man that has supreme. I mean, Joker's got real good footwork on the box. 100%. Joker's got great footwork. He doesn't have Olajuwon footwork. No question about that. No, he doesn't have Olajuwon footwork, but Joker's got really good footwork. Zubac's got some good footwork too. I watched Joker.
Today's NBA or historically?
Well, compared to the best to ever do it, I mean, I don't think Zubac's footwork. I don't think Zubac's footwork is that far off from Lonzo Mourning. I don't think Zubac's footwork is that far off from Patrick Ewing. I think he's got really good footwork for a big. I mean, and but with that being said, guys like Curry, what they did, what Curry did with expanding the game was now he dragged the big man away from the basket. And with dragging the big man away from the basket, I could say the same thing, Tone, that you just said about what Curry did. Jordan did the same thing. He tricked me. He actually tricked me into think that I could do that. Only to accept, no, I'm never going to be that good. I'm never going to be able to fly like Mike. I'm never going to be able to run like Mike. I'm never going to be able to do what Jordan does. But he had me thinking that I could do that. Curry did the same thing with a lot of people. And I think it was even compounded with Curry off the strength that Curry looks like a lot of everyday people. That's the difference. Like if you see Curry, I mean, Curry looks like at 6'2", 6'3". He looked like somebody you could run into in the mall. I mean, I've seen Curry.
He's our size.
Right.
And I've said this to you before. He's our size, and I'm 6'3", 270. You're 6'4", probably 220 because you lean and mean. And it's less like, but hold on. When we say that's everyday guy, in reality, you know that we're like 1% of the population. Like we're not normal, right? We feel like we are, but I know what you're saying. I think it's more when you see him up against, the 6'10", 6'9", right guy.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Like, oh, he's a regular sized dude. He's bigger than the average dude. But yes, I that's what I think. I get what you're saying. So it's like, they all think they can do it. But I also think he made NBA players think that they could do it, all of them. And look, they're working on it. I'm telling, not one player. I have an injury, so I'll include the injured player. I have a 13-man roster. Okay, of 12 and 13-year-olds, my youth team. All but two are super comfortable shooting the three. Almost to a fault, to be honest. But I'm the coach, so I let them. I tell them, let it fly. But that's ridiculous when you think you go back to 1987, and there was maybe two guys on the team, an NBA team, that were comfortable, not who were comfortable shooting threes.
Sure.
You literally went from two NBA players on a team to now all of them on youth teams shooting threes. I get it. The differences are the distance is different, but still, it's that mentality. It has really changed.
And I also think too, Tone, that when you have that kind of skill set, I think it would be not disingenuous, but I think it would be robbery if we weren't able to expand it. Don't get me wrong. I do think that you, as a big man, still.
You know what's going to happen, right?
No, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, what you bring up the 3-point line as a trial. It goes up and down for the first little while. Mm-hmm. You mess around with the distance, until you feel like you get it right. Mm-hmm. Teams then adjust analytics, and they're like, oh, it makes more sense to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody is utilizing the three, and the teams that shoot the most threes are winning NBA championships. Like, go back through the last 20 years. Look at the series. NBA Finals, the winners not even made more, shot more. Now
what about the Warriors, though, Tone? Like in 16, like they didn't shoot that many threes. As much as we might think that the Warriors in 16, I don't think they led the league in threes that year. I think it was Houston.
No, not led the league in
but shot more.
Final series, they shot more. All but like 2 years over the last 20 years. The two teams in the finals, the team that shot more, not hit more, higher percentage, shot more, won it. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely a part of the game and part of winning basketball. So what's going to happen next, right? Well, we're going to get bored of it like we do with everything else. So now we're going to need a 4-point line. We're going to need to change the 3-point line, make it further. Something has to change, because that's how the world works. We won't, just like we
do get that part. Yes,
we can't play 1950s basketball without a shot clock. We can never go back to that.
No, that's a fact. But here's the difference, though, Tone.
We're gonna get to the point now. Look at where we are. The 3-point line. We started shooting 2 a game, 12 a game, 20 a game, 30 a game. We're about 37, 38 a game now. Yep. That hasn't really changed in the last 3-4 years. We're gonna level off at 37, 38 somewhere, and then someone's gonna be like, "Yo, we got to do something. We got to make it more entertaining. We got to do something."
You do understand that if we had a 4-point line in the league, like there'd be no reason to shoot twos. There'd be no reason to shoot at the rim whatsoever.
Other than if you're guarding out 30 feet, you just throw it in there and it's an easy 2, because you shoot a lower percentage.
You could, but if I could make 3s and 4s, if I could make 3s and if I could make 3s and 4s, even if I'm wide open at the rim, if you're gonna let me shoot at the rim, I'm gonna find somebody at the long ball line.
Yeah, you're going to do that. Turn down a dunk and throw it out 30 feet for 4-point line. But that's what they thought was going to happen with the 3. And at first it didn't. And now it kind of is. And listen, maybe it's just the 3-point line just needs to be extended out more. Maybe the corner 3 needs to go away, right? The easiest shot in basketball is a corner 3.
I've heard that from you numerous times, Tone, that the corner 3 needs to go away. We'll stop the 3 just at the break.
Right? I had a shout out to my guy Mac and Cheese. My one of my boys had we had a tournament this weekend. Had a heck of a game. Sat there in the corner. We ran the same play over and over and over again. Got him 6. He hit 5 in a row. Just sitting there at the corner 3, bam, corner 3, bam, corner 3, bam. We won by 43 points. Like, it's not fun. Well, it's fun, but it's fun because it was my old team that we beat by 43. So
of course. Mm-hmm.
But they'll never want to play us again. All right. That being said, we do have some topics to go over. So let's Oh, do I want to show that first? Where do we want to go first? What is this? I don't even know. Oh, I'm sorry. We do have to do one thing first. And this will be super, super, super quick. I promise this will be quick. But we do need to hit a little hey, what's up, Fluent Junior? 6'7", little 6'7". Let's go. Love you too. Have a good night. You dropped one. Bear down, baby. How about them Bears?
For my TikTok people, Tone is a Bears fan. Right?
Oh, that's right. They didn't see what was happening there.
Yeah. For my TikTok people, Tone is a Bears fan, and with Tone being a Bears fan,
we have so little to cheer for.
With Tone being a Bears fan, as you know, I think that this is the first time the Bears have been in first place. I think in like 15 years, something crazy like that.
2006.
Okay, so 20 years. So it's been 20 years since they've been in first place. So we got some people, doing the gritty and getting happy.
There's a kicker. There's a kicker who hit the game winner against the Vikings. Yeah. After giving up, the Bears are up. They're leading. They give up a terrible touchdown. I don't watch football. What do you talk? Football's my number. Who is this Leaf dude? Like, football's my number one sport, bro. That being said, I'm a Bear. Listen, I was a Bears fan since as long as I was a Laker fan. So I'm loyal. That being said, hold on. I'm trying to do two. When I try to do two things at once, everything goes
focused on. Everything goes
one
thing
haywire.
at a time, brother.
I know we got time. Okay, so let's jump into our first topic because this is one that I'm so happy about. I told you it was going to happen. I hope that they're able to keep going. But I did want to give a little love to my Bears because we get so little bit about it. I'm not going to touch that last comment. Actually, but we do have one more story because I want to end the topic. Because the roles have expanded, the original position names are no longer valid and it messes up lists. No. Why these things are invalid, okay, I disagree with that. Is because players and teams have put themselves out there and they've listed themselves at positions that they're not playing. Okay. Steph Curry listed as point guard has never played point guard, not even in college. He's a shooting guard. This is my favorite one. I'm sorry. I'm not pick. I know you're gonna say I'm picking on him and I'm trolling.
LeBron James.
I'm not. Okay. He's been listed at every position in the NBA, right? If you go to his NBA.com or basketball reference, okay. That's a bold-faced lie. Okay. So when he was listed as a center that one season, it was done at the beginning of the season. Let me tell you who was on the roster. DeAndre Jordan. What position does he play?
5.
Can he play any other position?
No. He's 5 man.
Dwight Howard, also listed as a center. He's your 5 man. Although he's not a starter he didn't get a lot of playing time, but they also had Jay Huff. Jay Huff is a center, can't play anything other than center. Also listed as center was Anthony Davis. Now, Anthony Davis can play center or can play the 4. We all kind of agree with that. He should be a center, but he wants to play the 4. Okay, he was listed at center. 3 of those 4 guys started at center every single game that season. One of those 3 guys. And yet, you still listed LeBron James as a center, And so I guess the Lakers had a 2-center set where they started 2 centers. That's what you're trying to tell me? Did he play a role of a center in any of those games? No, he was just listed as a center, strictly to say, oh, he started at all 5 positions throughout his career. Steph Curry was listed at point guard just because, well, he's the shortest guy on the team, and he's, we're going to put him at the point guard. He never played point guard. He didn't. How you play is more important than where you're listed. So,
he did play the point guard for Mark Jackson. That's not true, Tone. Yes, he did.
Yes,
I'm
sorry. You're right. You're right.
He did play the point guard for Mark Jackson, so that's not true, Tone.
You're absolutely right. You're right. That he did. I will give you that. So, okay.
And that being said, if I'm not mistaken, James did start at the 5 last year in the playoffs against Minnesota, which was a disaster.
Okay. That is different, though. But that's different. That is different because Magic Johnson started every position in his rookie season.
He didn't start at the 5, Tone. He jumped ball. He was their lead guard.
No. He was listed at every starting position in the regular season. In fact, so was Scotty Barnes of the Toronto Raptors, was listed as the starting at every position in his first rookie season. In his first, he only has 1 rookie season.
Right.
In his rookie season.
Right.
So what you're listed isn't really where you play. That's
not true.
If you don't,
the reason why that's not true, Tone, because we have some guys who are more versatile, but primarily, right? We got some guys who are primarily this is what they are. Steph Curry, for example. Steph Curry primarily plays off the ball, but he's listed as a point guard. But he does play some point guard.
I'm not saying he doesn't, right? But what I'm saying is just because my point is, just because I'm listed there doesn't mean that's where. Right. If I list Andre Drummond as a point guard, and he plays exactly the same way, is he a point guard?
No, because I mean, sure, there are some exceptions.
But he was listed at point guard, so he's a point guard.
DeMar DeRozan is a prime example of that. DeMar DeRozan is listed at the 4. DeMar DeRozan is not a 4.
He's not a power forward. Yeah, stop.
No, he's not a power forward. He plays the 2. He's always played the 2. He's played the 2 for how many years did he play up in Toronto? Like 10 or 11?
Yeah, something like
he played the 2 the whole time he was up there. That's what he is.
That's
right.
Okay.
So there are people who are listed at certain positions who don't play that position, but then there's plenty of guys who are listed at the position that they play, but then they are there. Chris Paul has always been listed at the lead guard. That's his job. Russell Westbrook has always been listed at the lead guard. Kevin Durant moved over to the 4 later on. But Kevin Durant,
you can 100%, you can move. Hell, Magic was a small forward when he came back when he was fat in the late 90s. Just you move. That's fine. All right, let's get to the actual news here. My Detroit Pistons. And as far as my fandom goes, everyone knows I am a Laker fan. Period. However, it doesn't mean I can't like other teams. Okay. And I've had like you in football, how you've had your little secret love affair with the Denver Broncos. Mine has been with the Detroit Pistons. One, because I've been saying for a couple of years now, I think they're going to turn things around. And 2, because I spent a lot of time there last season, and them letting me and the kids on the court and shoot around and how well they treated us, it's cool. But they're also a really good team. And they've just reeled off 10 straight wins. They're 12-2, first in the East. I told you they were going to be good this year.
You did tell me they were going to be good. Yes, you did. However,
you
didn't tell me that they were going to be. You didn't tell me that they were going to be this good.
This good?
No, you did not tell me that they were going to be this good, Tony. So those 2 things are not the same, right? So with that being said, I think that I'm dealing with a team that's developing an identity. And one of the things, and I think I said this to you when we were talking about Detroit last season, that I thought that I thought that the maturation of this team was going to, especially offensively, was going to depend on Jalen Duren. Like if Jalen Duren got better, with Jalen Duren getting better, especially as an offensive player, around the rim, finishing, being a better ball handler, I think that offense will be better. And I think that that's exactly what's going on. He's much better in the short roll. He's much better in pick and dive. He's much more comfortable handling the basketball on the perimeter than he did 2 years ago, where he would actually get the ball in pick and dive and he couldn't get away from it quick enough. Now he's in the mid post and he's making moves to the rim. Now he's in the post, and I see jump hooks. Now he's getting the ball off the glass and he's going with it, and he actually looks comfortable handling the basketball. With that being said, I think that this Detroit Pistons team is still the homework isn't complete yet, Tone, so I can't turn it in. Right? I still got the homework. The reason why the homework isn't complete is because I still haven't seen Jaden Ivey yet. Karis LeVert just got back in the lineup, right? Karis LeVert just got back in the lineup. I still haven't seen Jaden Ivey. They get this two-way kid Jenkins, who I think is great. I think that they're going to rip up that two-way contract, and he's going to be full-time with the Detroit Pistons.
So you tell me the team's just going to get better.
I think that they're going to get better. I do,
and they're young.
I do think that they're at worst. At worst, I get to see what they look like.
Yeah,
and I get to see with all the pieces that they have, with Hollins, with Ryan Holland, with Duncan Robinson, with Karis LeVert now getting into the lineup, with Jaden Ivey, when they get Tobias Harris back in the lineup, I get to see exactly what this team looks like. And if that's the case, they could very well get better. I would love to see that. I would absolutely love to see that. As of right now, and I'm saying this to you on November 18th, 2025, I think that on November 18th, 2025, I think they're a second-round team. I think they're a team that's in the semifinals. I think that they're in a dogfight with whomever, and I think that they end up losing in the second round. I don't think that they're there yet in terms of a championship team, but Tone, man, we getting close. We are getting close. Yes, we are.
Caden Duran, the new Shaq and Kobe.
Let's relax. Chill out. I mean, again, what we have a tendency to do, right? What we have a tendency to do is we have a tendency to go off the rails sometimes. This is the same, and just so you know, what's his name? Sheesh Main. He's the same dude who said I said, because he just wants to be recognized. Yeah, because you know how trolls are, Tone. Because you're a troll. So right. So you know who trolls are. So Sheesh Man, he's the same one who said I said that the Detroit Pistons are winning the NBA championship.
No.
He said that I said
all along said it's Cleveland in the East.
He said that, but he said that I said that. But he wants to be recognized because nobody pays attention to him, whether he's in school, whether he's at the mall.
Why are you paying attention to him now?
Because he wants to be recognized. So let's recognize Sheesh Man. Let's do that. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of teams on the come up, I've been saying this for 2 years. So I'll take credit for this, is the Atlanta Hawks need to get rid of Trae Young. Because as statistically fantastic as he is, I don't think he is the type of player that wins you basketball games. And with him out of the lineup, they've won 5 straight games, top 2 defense, top 10 offense, top 10 net rating, and 7-2, now 7-2 on the season. Is it time to trade Trae? Yes. And that doesn't mean Trae is garbage. That doesn't mean Trae is trash. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that he's a bad player. It doesn't mean that he isn't skilled. It doesn't mean that he isn't talented. He's just not the right fit for the team that's around him.
Yeah.
And Atlanta didn't do a good job of putting the proper team around him to win. And maybe they never can. So move on. Because
even if this was the best talent that he's had around him, Tone, and when he was on the floor, it still wasn't working. Even though I was super high on this team with Trae Young.
I told you they were going to finish top 4 with all that talent around him. I remember I said they're going to be a top 4 seed this year in a weak East, or not a weak East, in a year where the top,
a more competitive East. How about that?
Yeah.
Sure.
A balanced East, because when you're missing Jason Tatum, you're missing Therese Halliburton, like you're missing some of the top guys. Now Paulo's out. Now we're going to get to this in a minute. Giannis is out. Yep. I know it's a short period, but this was an opportunity for Atlanta to do that, and they just. I don't know. Listen, we're not in the locker rooms. We don't know if it's him, but the teams tend to play better when he's not there. And I just think there's a type. He's a type of player that is super skilled, super talented, and he needs to have he's like Russell Westbrook. The kid could win an MVP. He puts up the numbers, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't click with the unit around him to win.
And here's the thing,
it doesn't make him a bad player.
But because they're in a dogfight right now with Atlanta. They're in a back and forth with Atlanta, right? Atlanta's in a back and forth with Detroit right now.
Detroit, yeah.
They're in a back and forth with Detroit right now. But with that being said, what is the problem? If that's the case, Tone, what exactly is the problem? Why isn't this working? Because this is the same guy who I'm watching go 26-12, 27-11. I don't know, 27-11 again, and he's missing out on all pro teams. He's actually been really good. He's actually been really good as a distributor. He can be a bit turnover prone. He can be a bit of a recluse when it comes to shooting the basketball and throwing his team off the track in spaces like that. All right, I get that part. But if I'm sitting on a sideline and I'm watching this Atlanta team and I'm Trae Young, my first thought process is, all right, how can I, when I get back out there, what am I going to do to keep this train rolling? How can I keep these guys connected? Okay, my shot diet definitely needs to change, right? I don't love 23 footers with 18 seconds left on the shot clock. No, I don't love that. I also don't love 24 footers with 6 seconds on the shot clock. What I would like to do is I'd like to keep the game fast, and I'd like to get Jalen Johnson more involved in the game because he's one of the best transition players. I want to keep the game fast because I love Dyson Daniels as a transition player. I'd like to see Okongwu be more of a finisher around the rim. I don't think that you use him as much because when I think about Okongwu, I think about how James Harden used Clint Capella around the rim. I think the difference is James Harden was a little bit bigger, and I think James Harden was able to get into the paint and manipulate the defense a little bit more. I think Trae Young's size has been a bit of a detriment to him in that aspect, but I do think that he could use Okongwu around the rim a little bit more. This other kid, I have a difficult time saying his last name. It's Ngai.
Don't ask me. You know, I can't say my own last name.
Right. But I actually think that I think that he's good. I think that he's good stretching the defense. I think Bogey is also good stretching the defense. They also got Luke Kennard. They've got Alexander Walker, who's great. And if that's the case, if I'm Trae, I'm not thinking, I got to come back and average 25 a game. You already know I could do that. You already know that I can do that. And I'm in a contract year. I think that if we end up, I think that if we end up continuing to roll, right? I think that if we end up continuing to roll and I do my job and I'm more of a distributor, more of a playmaker, and I'm more efficient as a bucket getter, I think that will make us even better. Like this dude said, I'm switching up for no reason on Trae. What does that mean? I'm switching up. I never said that Trae Young was a detriment. I never said that Trae Young was whack. In fact, I'm on record saying I've actually coined the phrase whenever somebody misses out on being an all-pro or being an all-star, I call it getting traded because it's easy to leave Trae Young out. Of all the people, it's easy to leave out, Tone. I feel like it's always easy. I feel like it's been less difficult to leave Trae off the all-pro team. It's been less difficult to leave Trae off the all-star team for all of those reasons. I just feel like with him, as opposed to everybody else, it just looks different. Like this dude said, you were high on him last year, and I still am. I still am high on Trae Young. I am.
So because I know Ron is a big Ron is a person.
I still am high on Trae Young. I just think that
he's super high on Trae Young, and he's been wrong, right?
Yeah.
So you're with him that you are high on him.
I still am high on Trae Young, no doubt about it. I'm definitely high on Trae Young. I just look at this Atlanta team, and it's obvious that they play a different style of basketball with Dyson Daniels. I actually said this was earlier this season and it was last season that, I like when Trae Young, when Trae Young goes to the bench and they move Dyson Daniels over to the one, how much better they are. I mean, not better. Better is not the word I'm looking for, but they don't miss it. They don't lose a lot.
Okay. They don't lose a lot. Let me address this real quick. You know what? The 25 and 12 guy, let's get rid of him, even though only played 4 games with this squad. Yes, because it's not like he's only played 4 games in his career. This is a reoccurring theme, regardless of who's next to him. Being a 25 and 12 guy means nothing to your franchise if it doesn't mean if you're not winning games. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, the teams still need to win games. And there's a thing called addition by subtraction. And let me give you an example, because I was up here for it when it happened. The Toronto Raptors brought Masai Ujiri back to work to be the general manager of the Raptors. Brought him. He had been with the Raptors. He had left to Denver, and then he came back. And he was going to blow up the whole damn thing. And he was going to get rid of everybody. And the first move he made was trading away their best player, their top scorer, Rudy Gay. The next things to happen was to trade DeMar and Kyle. But a funny thing happened on the way to on the way to the trade machine. They started winning games. And he said, "Well, I'm not gonna make the trade, when they're on a hot streak." So he waited. And he waited. And he waited. And that hot streak went on for like 4 or 5 years. And it was the team that won the most games in the NBA over that span, other than the Golden State Warriors.
Wow.
They were less talented. And this is before the Kawhi trade I'm talking, obviously, because obviously then they trade for Kawhi, and then of course they were more talented, but they were less talented without Rudy Gay. Because people forget how good Rudy Gay was, I think, back then. They were it changed some kind of dynamic. And I just think, for whatever reason, on Atlanta, Trae Young seems to be that piece that it doesn't matter who they've thrown around him. And yes, this is the most talented team they've had in a while. They just seem to be more comfortable as a team without him. Again, doesn't mean he's a bad player. It just means he's probably a better fit somewhere else. And that's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, when I tell you I like player A over player B, and everyone's like, Fluent's a hater. Why does he hate player B? I don't hate player B. I just think player A is better than player B. That's all it means.
My go-to example for this all the time. Adrian Dantley was better than Mark Aguirre. Mark Aguirre was better for the Detroit Pistons.
100%. 100%.
That's my go-to. Anytime we talk about fits, Adrian Dantley was better than Mark Aguirre.
They brought over a guy who was averaging 28 a game, 20-something a game to Detroit, and they were like, yeah, and look, it worked for a short period of time where he got them to that next level, but then to become champions, it was, okay, Dantley out and Aguirre in, and Dantley is a much
worked
than Aguirre, 100%.
And it worked.
100%.
It 100% worked.
My favorite topic again. We have a lot of my favorite topics today. Them Buffalo Braves.
Oh boy.
Them Clippers clipping. Those paper clips. When is anyone going to listen to me? How many years have I been telling you? This franchise stinks. They need to blow up the new stadium and move. Go back to Buffalo, go to Seattle, go to San Diego, be the wind chimes. I don't care. You're not built for LA. You're just not. Remember when before the season started, we were, oh my God, look at their second unit is as good as a lot of starting fives. Look how talented they are. And I'm like, they're gonna suck. Clippers gonna clip.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but in the end, this is actually what's going on. Now, don't get me wrong, Tone. There was a time, if I'm not mistaken, I think this was like maybe 3 years ago, that the Clippers, they had a slow start and then they finished like top 5 in the West. So, I mean, I do think that they could turn it around. But, I mean, I think the biggest problem that we're having here is that we're dealing with an older unit. James Harden is 36 years old. Bradley Beal, in the end, Tone, and I don't want to go off the rails here. As good as I am as a talent, as good as I am as a shooter, as good as I am as good as I am as a talent, as good as I am as a shooter, as good as I am as a rebounder, I have to be physically able to do these things. Bradley Beal is not. He's got a cracked hip. He's got a bad back. James Harden, who basically is the reason why they are actually competitive, because outside of James Harden, Tone, they would be Washington. I promise you that. If James Harden wasn't on this crew, this team, they would be New Orleans. They would be at the bottom of the Western Conference.
Yes.
And I'm talking about a huge torpedo-sized hole in the ship. Chris Paul can no longer physically compete at this level consistently. He can't do it. He can do it for 10 minutes, but he can't do it consistently. That's it. And that's who Chris Paul is today. Hey, there's nothing wrong with getting old. That's part of life. Getting old is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Beats the alternative. Definitely beats the alternative, 100%. So guys like Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, Bradley Beal, James Harden, these guys are, I mean, Brook Lopez is 37 years old. These guys are all long in the tooth. And I was the same way I felt about the Warriors. This is the same way I feel about the Clippers. They're the oldest team in the league. This is the NBA today, more than any time in its existence, is a young man's league. More than any time. And if you think that you're going to trot a bunch of mid-30 to late 30-something guys out there and get up and down with these young kids, you are out of your mind. It's not happening. It's just not.
And we knew that, but I do want to read a quote, and then I do want to read this question from TikTok. I've been poor, I've been rich, I've been fat, I've been skinny. And one thing I can always tell you is that the Clippers have always sucked.
Damn.
You just made the list.
It's a great job. Charles Barkley said that. Well, there you go. And then here's I'm going to go off topic a little bit because this is actually a good one. Chris D, do you weigh one over the other when it comes to rating players? Skill set and eye test versus stats. Do you weigh one higher than the other?
No, because one is a result of the other. So your skill set, your talent, that's what produces everything that goes on the court. If you nice with the pill, if you're not going anywhere with it, I don't care about that. If you could shoot the basketball, if it's not going in, I don't care about that. If you're a great athlete, if it's not translating to anything, I don't care about that. All of the things that you do in terms of your skill set, your production is a result of that.
So it sounds like you value stats / production a little bit higher than the eye test skill test. Because just because it looks nice, use this example. Just because Jay Will looks fantastic throwing a pass, he still only averaged 3 assists a game. So who cares?
I couldn't care less, and the reason why is because I've seen lesser talent. Yeah. I've seen lesser players outplay guys who have bigger bags. I've seen them outplay guys who are better players. I've seen that happen before. So I can appreciate how talented you are. I can appreciate what it looks like. What is that leading to? That's why I've always been, and I always will be, such a big fan of Jabbar. That's why I always will be. And I've always been, and I always will be such a big fan of Jabbar, because there wasn't a lot to Jabbar's game, even though like Jabbar could knock down an elbow jump shot. He had that in his game. Go back and watch the 82 Western Conference Finals when they played against San Antonio, when he had Artis Gilmore in front of him. Jabbar could knock down a mid-range jump shot. Yes, he could. Jabbar can get it. Jabbar can make a running hook with his left hand. He could do that. Jabbar could finish on both sides of the rim. He could do that. However, I do this one thing. If you can't stop this, I'm going to keep doing it. I don't have to do the extracurricular stuff. I don't need to do that. I got this one thing that I do, and I'm damn good at it. And if you can't stop that, I'm going to keep doing it.
So for those of you on TikTok, when you don't hear the sound and you don't see the picture, I'm pulling up topics online. So you can always go to Sports Fluent YouTube or Chilltown Hoops YouTube and see it. But feel free to stay here on TikTok because you can hear the conversation. So we do have a super chat. So I'll read it out to you from Mello Williams, and then we'll get to our next two topics. Apparently someone needs to tell Lauri Markkanen, thank you, Mello Williams. Someone needs to tell Lauri Markkanen the Jazz are tanking. His efficiency the last 3 games are video game-like numbers.
Okay, first and foremost, Mel, they are not tanking. I just watched them go into double overtime a couple of nights ago against Chicago. They are trying to win games. They are 100% trying to win games. And Lauri Markkanen is getting busy. I watched this kid, Keontae George, as games go on. His confidence is getting better as the game goes on. I watched him play against the Bulls a couple of nights ago. And the thing that I dug about him, Tone, was he slowed his game down. He became more precise coming off screens. His shot selection got better. Like he took in the first half, right? There's a difference. I think that you guys misconstrue the difference between tanking and being just bad. Okay, the Jazz are not actively losing games.
There's also something called building. So they are working to build. Listen, Utah is not a destination location. You played ball there, and people aren't saying, I want to go to Utah. Okay, so you have to build in different ways. I can tell you from talking to Scott Morrison, who's one of the assistant coaches up there in Utah, who's a friend of the show's, who's if he ever gets a day off, he said, I'm going to come back on. He's been working like a dog.
To have him back on.
You know, he was on last time. You can go back and watch the episode. It was really great. He's an awesome dude. Obviously knows his hoops, but he'll tell you they're not tanking, right? They're building. They've got a team that is a work in progress. But they are definitely not trying to lose games. Look, if they were trying to lose games, Markkanen would have been traded. Any of their talent would have been traded, right? Yes. No, and this is no disrespect to Markkanen. It's not like, you know, when the Sixers picked up Embiid and said, okay, you're hurt, go sit off. We want to keep losing so we can get a couple more high draft picks and then all of a sudden be this good team, right? The process failed. But that was the plan. This is not that. This is not that. So let's be clear.
So you guys on TikTok know we also on YouTube too, just so you guys know.
God damn.
I don't know what to do with this guy.
Jokic is fantastic. So again, for those of you on TikTok, let me read this out to you. Here's Jokic's stat lines over the last few games. 36, 18, and 13. 27, 12, and 11. These are points, rebounds, assists. 55, 12, and 6. 35, 15, and 7. 32, 14, and 14. 26, 9, and 9. Oh, man, that was a bad game. 33, 15, and 16. 34, 7, and 14. Yo, my MP, that's my player on NBA 2K, puts up these kinds of numbers. This is ridiculous.
He's averaging 35. He's averaging 35, 15, and 10 in the month of November, Tone. What's happening right? I'm in the Matrix. I am. And I do my daily rants about Giannis because I want to make sure that people, you know, remember who and we're gonna get to Giannis, no doubt about that. But I do my daily rants about Giannis because I want people to know, you know, what Giannis is doing. But then, like, Joker turns around and he does this goofy 55, 12, and then I'm like, yo, you kind of screwing me up, my man, because I'm trying to big somebody else up over here. That's what I'm trying to do. And unfortunately, he's just taking the camera and going, no, bring the camera back over here. Right back over. Bring the camera back over here. He's killing me.
Quickly, TikTok, to whoever just asked me to ask Jay Chill to unblock you, I don't see you smashing the like button. So if you do that for a little bit, I'll ask, but I can't control him. I've never blocked anyone. He loves to block people, and if you got blocked, to be honest, you probably deserved it. Joker is an enigma wrapped in a conundrum, in the shape of a puzzle. Like I don't even know. Like, this is a second round pick, and let's be honest. If we're being truly honest, Denver had to pick between him and Nurkic. And it wasn't like it was an easy decision. It wasn't an easy decision. Let's be honest. It wasn't an easy decision.
It was not, Tone. It wasn't.
Man, they look good now. Denver looks. Could you imagine if Denver traded him to Portland? How we'd be talking about Denver's front office right now.
Well, first and foremost, everybody's fired.
Everybody's fired.
Yeah, everybody's fired.
Everybody's fired.
Everybody's fired. You guys. So wait a minute. We had him here, and we went with this guy instead of him. Yeah, everybody's fired. No doubt, no doubt about that. And here's the thing, right? I think what Joker has done with me is he's opened my eyes more to the expansion of the 5-man. That's what he's opened my eyes to more than anything, Tone. Like, the 5-man is capable of more things than just like A, B, and C. He's also capable of C, D, E, and F. He's also capable of a lot more things than that while doing 5-man things. And
can I add? You'll know this. I'm throwing this out there. I have not given it any thought. I haven't looked it up, so I'm literally off my head. And you might say, and you might list off 10. When has a top player on your team been a center, okay, that hasn't been a defensive center won a championship?
Joker was the last one to do it.
Well, I'm saying in the history of basketball, obviously he was the last one. Yeah. When in the history of basketball, have we ever had a bad defensive center who, that's what we call him. I don't think he's as bad as people say, but a bad defensive center who was this dominant that he won a championship?
Well, maybe if I think about it, the Warriors guy, he's down in New Orleans now.
Yeah, but he wasn't. Was he?
He wasn't. He wasn't the guy we were. He wasn't the guy we were running the offense through.
That's what I'm saying.
He wasn't the guy that we were running the offense through. A bad defensive center where we won the NBA championship. I mean, who was the 5-man in Miami when they won it? It was James on the front line with Bosh.
But that center would have been the 5th option.
But you so we're talking about we're talking about a guy,
a top option on a team,
right,
like one of your best players, 1, 2. I'll even give you 3. If you a top 3 option on your team being a center who was a defensive, I'm using the term loosely because not everyone agrees with it, but a defensive liability. But he was just so good offensively that they won a chip. I don't think it's ever like when you're saying he's breaking the mold.
Yeah.
Like he's breaking the mold of what a center is. Now he still does some center things, right? He still rebounds the ball well. He still does something, but like this dude, he's different.
A couple things, Tone. I think he's the best defensive rebounder in the league. There are some people who, they think that it's Zubac. They think that it's Sabonis. I think that Joker is the best defensive rebounding center in the league. I don't think that there's another guy. Include Hartenstein, that includes Evan Mobley, that includes Chet Holmgren, it even includes Wemby. I don't think that there's a guy who throws his weight around. I don't think that there's a guy who, in addition to throwing his weight around, who blocks out, who holds teams to one possession like he does. I don't think that there's another guy in the league like that on the glass like Joker is. Now, I think the divide with people is Joker is so inept as a rim protector. Even though he's got busy hands, he has a tendency to overrun. He has a tendency to.
We expect the center to get blocks.
Yes, 100%. And the fact that he's not one of those guys that he's like Olajuwon or Lonzo Mourning or Mutombo. He doesn't defend, even though he's got busy hands. He has a tendency to overrun the big man at the long ball line or out at the nail. He has a tendency to overrun them. But for the most part, he tries to play defense. Now, understand the difference, Tone, because, I might not be good at something, but damn, I'm trying. I promise you, Tone, I'm trying. This isn't something that I'm just out here doing. I'm really giving you effort. I am.
And I will say this about Joker. There was a stretch where I told you, I don't know if this was last year or the year before. I think it was the year before.
Yep.
And I said, okay, I have an opportunity. I have a window where I can go watch him play, live in person, close up a couple of times. And I went and watched him play, and I said, no, he's lazy on defense. He wasn't putting in effort. When I watched him. I've always told people, and I tell this to the kids I coach, if you really want to learn the game of basketball, pick a player. You don't have to love the player. Thank you. You have to pick a player you love or hate, whatever. But go just watch one player for 5-10 minute stretch, whatever of a game. Watch what they do when the ball's away from them, when it's on the other side of the court, when they're on the weak side defensively. Watch what they do. And if they're standing around doing nothing, like, it tells a lot to a player if you can focus on that one person and see what they do when they're not involved in the game. And so I did that, and I was like, man, he just stands around, he does nothing. Like, he jogged back on defense because he was like, my guy's not doing anything, blah blah. And I was just like, man, like, this dude's lazy. This guy's not playing.
Yeah.
And someone said to me, well, that was his bad stretch. You got to watch more. And then by the end of the season, I watched more, and I was like, okay, the effort was there. And there was a 5-game stretch where he was just like tired, lazy. I don't know, whatever the hell it was. But he does put in effort. I used to say this about Luca too, right? Like, you can tell the times when he's trying, right? Because his cheeks start to go red. You can see it. And there's other times where he's like, all right, he's just taking it easy and he's saving himself for that offensive end. So I found that very interesting. Plug in your phone. Don't let it die like last time.
It's not dying. Nope. I got it because they think.
No, that was a good angle. We got to see the whole shirt, the whole Fluent and Chill shirt. All right. I was going to do the next topic, but let's do the next super chat. Super chats, so are on YouTube. People ask us questions and give us a little donation, and it's a great way to get your questions answered. So TikTok, I do apologize. There's a bunch of questions. I'll try to scroll through them at the end and go through them. But Sir Darko here asked, what's good, y'all? Quick question. When we eventually get the NBA 100, do you think the NBA should keep everyone from the NBA 75 or take some guys off? I have very strong feelings about this, so I don't know if you want to go first or you want me to go first.
I do too, Tone. I mean,
do you? Okay, go ahead.
When we talked about the top 75, which, by the way, Tone has actually opened my eyes to the idea that the NBA is not 75 years old.
Oh, that's also very, very true. 100%.
Yeah, he actually opened my eyes to that. But with that being said, what you're suggesting when the league got to 75, that the previous 50 players, like there haven't been other players that have come along that have been better than them. Now, I can appreciate you. I can appreciate you acknowledging these guys, but there have been people that have come along that have been better than them. Just like there are people who came along and were better in baseball. It's like there are people who came along and were better in football. There's a reason why guys get moved up the list. As much as I am a historian of the game, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Bill Bradley still deserves to be on the top 50 list. He's not one of the 50 best players all time.
I don't think he's on the list.
Bill Bradley?
Yeah, he's not on the list.
Well, he might not be on the list anymore, but I'm 100% confident that he was on the list.
No,
yeah.
I don't believe he was on the top 50 list.
I can go. Hold on,
I think you should check. I think you're confusing the fact that he's in the Hall of Fame and he shouldn't be. But I don't think we're allowed to take them out of the Hall of Fame.
Bust my notes out right now, Tony.
Yeah, check it out, because I don't.
Top 50 in 1997. Jabbar, Nate Archibald, Paul Aronson, Barkley, Rick Barry, Elgin Baylor, Dave Bing, Larry Bird, Chamberlain, Cousy, Cowens, Billy Cunningham. Dave DeBusschere is not a top 50 player all time. No, he is not. I'm sorry. Drex, Dr. J, Patrick Ewing, Frazier, Iceman, Hal Greer, Havlicek, Elvin Hayes, Magic, Sam Jones, Jordan, Jerry Lucas, both Carl and Moses Malone, Pistol Pete, Kevin McHale, George Mikan, The Pearl, Lajuan, Shaq, Robert Parrish, Bob Pettit, Scottie Pippen, Willis Reed, Oscar Robertson, David Robinson, Bill Russell, Dolph Schayes, Bill Sharman. See, like stuff like that, like Dolph Schayes and Bill Sharman. Are you telling me that these dudes played in the 50s? You're telling me that?
Schayes. Hold on. Dolph Schayes isn't a top 100 player or 50 player when that came out?
In 1987, Tone. This was in 1987. Okay.
Dolph
sure.
Schayes top. Okay.
Sure. In 1987. Sure, I can get with that. In 2025?
No, he's not. Yeah, 100%.
That's what I'm talking about. 2025, John Stockton, Isaiah Thomas, Nate Thurman, Wes Unseld, Bill Walton, Jerry West, Lenny Wilkins. You're right. I thought Bill Bradley was. I meant Dave DeBusschere is the one.
Bill Bradley is the guy that shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. So Ori B, social. I'm going to save yours for a second, Ori, actually, because let me stay on topic with Darkos here. Also, did you all know? And I feel like I did, but maybe I forgot. That the way the initial NBA 50 list was put together, they did 10 players from each position. I did not know that, to put the 50 together.
I did not know that. That's news.
I don't know that I do. I didn't know that.
I did not know that neither. That's news to me. Wow.
That's interesting. That is definitely something they should. Yeah. So I don't like the list for a couple of reasons. I don't like the list because if that's what they did, that's horrible. I didn't like the 75 list, one, because it wasn't on their 75th anniversary. I'll explain that in a second for those that are like, what the hell are you talking about, Fluent?
Mm-hmm.
But also, I don't believe I hated the fact that they said, well, the top 50 are the top 50, and now we're going to add 25 more. I'm like, no. Like, if there's 25 players, if there's 50 better players now in the last 25 years that have played, which you can make an argument there are, and it knocks out some of the guys who are in the initial top 50, then so be it. So be it. Nostalgia be damned, because everyone thinks I'm some old head nostalgic guy just because I defend when you say something stupid about the past. No, I'm just correcting you because you're saying something stupid about the past. It doesn't mean I think that players are better or what. Like, no, if Dave DeBusschere, right, is not a top 50 player anymore. It's just not. It's just not. Many better players than him, as an example. We're picking on him and we shouldn't, but
Dave DeBusschere was fantastic. He was a great player.
Sure.
He was a great player, played for the Knicks. He was on that championship team. But in 2025, there are 50 players who have come along since Dave DeBusschere played in the NBA who are better than him.
Yeah, and that's okay. And so
that's fine.
That's fine. So let's go back to this for a second. So the NBA does recognize 45, 46 as their first season.
Sure.
I believe, and it's the game against the Toronto Huskies versus the New York Knicks in Toronto Maple Leaf Gardens as the first game ever. just because they recognize it doesn't make it true. And here's why. Because what was it called in 1946-47?
The BAA.
The BAA. Mm-hmm. Did you know that there was another league that was older than them called the NBL? And they were going on before the BAA. So why did they? I don't know if you know this. So for those 4 or 5 years, so let me give the history. So for the 1949-50 season, in 1949 it happened, but it was for the 49-50 season. The BAA, Basketball Association of America, and the NBL, the National Basketball League, merged, and became the NBA. What teams are recognized as the NBA champions for those 4 or 5 years before that 49-50 season?
That's a good question, Tone. Before that 49-50 season, I don't know.
It was the team that won the BAA championship. But why not the NBL champion? Because the NBL champion that league had been around longer.
Would this be the same logic that you use with the ABA? Because the ABA merged. Why we don't recognize ABA champions?
We don't recognize ABA. Not in the NBA. Absolutely not. Like, could you imagine? No, of course. So if those two, so the NBA wasn't even a thing that anyone had ever heard of until 49-50. So yeah, of course they want to say, well, we recognize the BAA as, I don't care what you recognize. The NBA didn't start until 49-50, period.
Yeah.
So that being said, when the 100 comes out, to answer the question now, super long-winded, let me go back to it. When we hit 100 years, and it's going to be a few years too early, when we hit 100 years, the slate should be wiped clean. Now, there should be some criteria because we want to make it clear. We got to tell people, hey, you have to be, 10 years at least in the league. Because by year 100, there's going to be a guy who's 3 years into the season that's doing ridiculous things, and they're like, "Oh, he's got to be top 100 because."
I mean, like Wemby,
yeah, like what? And we're just like, "Hey, we're leaving out because you have to give the reason. You have to give the reason why."
Right?
Like, yeah, we can't. If we were going to do a list, everyone would go nuts if Wemby wasn't on. If we did a top 75 right now, but it's just like give the guy some time.
Again, Tone, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about being a top 50 player all time. Tone, I've been waiting to see you because I've been wanting to tell you this. I ran into a guy in the grocery store, and he's got on a Celtic hat and a Celtic shirt. Tone, the guy is in his 80s. He saw Bob Cousy play, and he still thinks that Bob Cousy is that point guard. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not going to be me, because there's no way that Magic Johnson, who retired from the NBA in 1991, like the dude who came back in 1995, 96. No. Right. I'm talking about Magic, who retired in 91. That was what, 35 years ago, Tone? We're going on 35 years now?
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going on 35 years since Magic retired. Okay, with that being said, Tone, I'm not ridiculous enough to think that in another 10 years, another 15 years, that there's nobody that's going to ever be better than Magic. No, I'm not that ridiculous. I just haven't seen him yet. That's all.
Yeah, no, and listen, you can still say Cousy. I'm okay with him saying Cousy's his favorite point guard.
Those two things are not the same. Those two things are not the same.
Things to revolutionize the game of basketball, which there are moves. Just keep this in mind. I think this is Cousy could only dribble the top of the basketball. He could not, like the regular thing that we do now. Actually, we're going all the way down here now. But this that we do was illegal. He had to dribble the top of the basketball, and he was making plays that you see guys doing now, difficult, like at a difficulty level that they're like, oh, that's nice. He was doing it then. Now, granted, he stole it all from the Globetrotters, but he still learned how to do it.
Somebody you got to get inspiration from somebody.
No, it wasn't inspiration. He blatantly stole.
Oh, I'm biting your style, no doubt about it. Yes, I'm straight biting your style. Yes,
you still have to be able to do it. So I give him credit for that. I will. Let's take this question because it's relevant. Do you think Kyrie should be a top 75 over Lillard? Well, I don't know why it has to be over Lillard, but
no, I don't think that.
Should Kyrie be a top 75 though? Maybe not over Lillard, just period.
Well, what top 75 to me suggests is you can't tell the story about the NBA over the last 75 years without said player. I think he
led the Cavs from a 3-1 deficit against the Warriors to the championship.
Well, actually, he didn't lead them, but
Yes, he did.
He 100%.
Without him.
He 100% got busy, no doubt about that. But does that mean? I mean, outside of that, if that's right, is that what? Make sure that we clear on that, Tone. I think I'd like to think that that dude had a lot to do with what happened. Yes,
I don't know. I'm just saying they lose in 5 if it's not for Kyrie, based on what LeBron did that game.
In game 5, no, that was the game that James went for 40 in Golden State. Yeah. Yeah, both of them went for 40. As a matter of fact, it was two guys to go for 40. But again, Kyrie Irving, I think Kyrie Irving is more of a folk. I think he's more of a folk hero than he is what people want him to be. So Kyrie Irving, super nice with the peel, ridiculously talented, one of the better scoring guards that I've ever seen, no doubt about that. But when you put together all of that stuff and you put together what he did in totality, does that equal a top 75 player all time? Was there the consistency with him that it was there the consistency with everybody else than there was with him? I 100% don't think so. When I think about Damian Lillard was consistently playing at an all-pro level. Damian Lillard was consistently available. Damian Lillard was not available. I think he was available more than Kyrie Irving. I think he's one of the best shooters in NBA history. When we're talking about shooters, I'm talking about in that class with Steph Curry. I'm talking about in that class with Klay Thompson. I'm talking about in that class with Bird. I think he's in that class as a shooter. I think Kyrie Irving is a better mid-range shooter, but I think an overall shooter, I think Damian Lillard is one of the best shooters. In addition to that, when I think about a guy running my unit, I'm going to take Damian Lillard over Kyrie Irving. When I think about these two guys as players, I think Kyrie Irving is nicer with the peel, but I think Damian Lillard is more of a lead guard, and I think Damian Lillard does more lead guard things, and I think he's way more effective as a lead guard. And I'm on record saying this to you, Tone, that if Damian Lillard was on that Cavs team, they would have still been together. I don't think that they would have broken up.
Probably. For the record, LeBron goes 2 of 7 in that fourth quarter and is carried by Kyrie Irving in the fourth quarter, who scores 12 points on 5 of 9 shooting. Got busy. Saying nobody wins it alone, mind you, but that game, if he doesn't drop 41 and put up those 12 points in the fourth quarter, LeBron was 30.
I think he went for 32 in game 6.
Yeah,
he went for
that series ends a lot different.
I'm on record saying he outplayed Curry in that series. I'm on record saying
let's be very clear. Your number 2 is no team in NBA history has ever won a series without their number 2 leading scorer playing.
That's never happened before.
Never.
Yeah, that's never happened before.
So that tells you the importance of that number 2 and number 3 guy. All right, that being said, I don't know how do you have playback tonight? Do you have anything?
I do have playback tonight. Yes, I do.
What time is that at?
My playback, I'm doing the Suns Blazers game tonight.
You're not doing the Lakers?
No, I'm not doing the Lakers Jazz. I'm doing the Suns Blazers. I'm sure that we're gonna cut into that, but I'm doing
So do we need to do speed round for the next few topics?
I think we got a couple more minutes. So yeah, I'll hit you with the red light when it's time.
We said we were going to talk about it. I don't know if you know this guy. 32 points per game.
Incredible.
That's a career high. 10.8 rebounds per game. 6.8 assists per game. That's career high. 1.2 blocks per game. 62.9% from the field. That's career high. 50% from 3.
Also, 50% from 3. Also,
the only player averaging 30, 10, and 5 this season.
Oh no, the 50% from 3 also a career high.
Also career high. Did I not say career high?
Also a career high.
Also career high. My MVP pick, who is now hurt.
Yep.
Giannis is having. I know you've been screaming it from the from the rooftops. Just quick on Giannis and what he has been doing this season.
I think that he's been nothing short of fantastic. This team has been built around Giannis' skill set, and I think that they were doing really well around Giannis. I think the defense has been a lot better. Giannis, he just attracts so much attention. He's much more comfortable on the perimeter, shooting the jump shot, even shooting the long ball. I think he's the best transition player in the game. I think he's one of the best playmakers and passers in the game. I think that engine that the Milwaukee Bucks needed is Giannis, and this is the 4th year in a row that he's averaging 30, 10, and 6, and nobody on 60% plus shooting, nobody in the history of the NBA, that includes Chamberlain, that includes Jabbar, that includes Oscar Robertson, that includes Shaq, line them all up. None of those guys can say that they've done that, and I have made the mistake of letting that fall by the wayside with Giannis, and I'm not going to do that again. I will make sure that everybody knows it.
So Giannis is hurt.
Oh no,
groin 1 to 2 weeks. Castle is hurt on the Spurs, but I think more importantly, everyone's savior, the alien, has a calf strain, and you more than anyone I know is super scared about calf strains because they turn into Achilles. So as the kids would say, speak on it.
I believe that Nas said, "I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death." Well,
yes, he did say that.
If that's the case, you know how I feel about calf strains, because calf strain leads to Achilles tears and Achilles pops. That means that if we got to shelve this guy until he's 100%, and if that means 2 months, then 2 months it is. I have no problem doing that with him because I am not going to risk it. This is why I had such a problem with everybody telling me that De'Aaron Fox needed to be traded for Harper. And the reason why I said that, Tone, was because I don't know how long I'm going to have Wemby. I don't know how long he's going to hold up, Tone. I really don't. What I'm hoping is
you want a team now and a team that has a chance in the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, what I'm hoping with Wemby, if I can get a decade. That's what I'm hoping. That if I could get a decade, maybe 12 years, I'm so in with that. However, what I'm not trying to hear is losing him this season to an Achilles tear, because I'm going to lose him next season too. And that's going to set me back years. I'm not trying to hear that. So whatever this is, however serious this is, if he's got to get shelved for a month, for 2 months, not put him on a shelf. But you know how I feel about this, Tone.
I know.
Anything going on with your heart and with your calf, I don't play that. Nope.
You know my guy Ori B, so I gotta get his question in here before we. How close is Joker to the best offensive player ever?
So first of all, who is the best offensive player ever? Let's start there. I think it's James. I think James is the best offensive player ever. I don't think that there's a guy in NBA history who's a better offensive player than James. James just does everything. You need buckets, I got buckets for you. You need to be a distributor, you need to be a facilitator, you need to get downhill, you need to get to the rim, you need to get other people involved in the game. You need a guy with a ridiculous IQ and understand the game and see the game plays ahead and understand offenses and be able to dissect offense, be able to dissect defenses. That's James for me. I think he's the best offensive player in the history of the game. With him and Joker, I do think that there's a gap, and that gap is where the buckets are. I think James is a better scorer than Nikola Jokic. I don't think he's a far superior scorer, but I do think he's a better bucket getter than him. So I think the gap it's not substantial, but I think that there is a gap between those guys.
Are we talking about kind of for the entirety of their career or at their best?
Even at their best.
Because obviously Joker had those first couple of years, obviously, where he wasn't really playing much, he wasn't scoring much, he wasn't ever. So if we're talking about kind of Joker who he is now today, I would say, okay, who scores more? James by no now. Well, what is Joker's? To be honest, I don't know what is his average.
Joker's averaging almost 30 a game. I think it's 29.6, something like that, 29.7.
So they score about the same.
Mm-hmm.
Joker is more efficient. Joker, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong here, shoots a 3-ball at a more efficiently.
At a pretty high clip. He's shooting it at a pretty high clip.
How are his free throws?
I think he's at around 74 to 75% as a free throw shooter.
So they're both about the same from the free throw line. Who gets more offensive rebounds?
Joker gets more offensive rebounds.
Gets more offensive. And who would you say is kind of the better? I don't want to say passer in terms of a skill set, but facilitator of the offense, and racks up more assists. I think that's Joker, although you can argue who's the better passer because that's a little bit subjective.
Sure.
Well, I've got a guy who scores the same amount of points, is just as efficient from the free throw line and all over the court, is a better long ball shooter, facilitates more of the offense, gets more assists, although maybe pick or choose who's the better passer, who also is a better offensive rebounder. If I take the names away and I said, and the athleticism and the which one looks better aesthetically, and I just said, okay, I got the guy who does everything at the same clip or better, and the other guy who does everything the same or worse, everybody's picking the guy who does the thing a little bit the same or better. And then that's Jokic. I don't think I've ever seen, if I'm just saying offense, I don't think I've ever seen a better offensive player than Jokic.
But what the data says, to your point, they score about the same. But if we're doing that, then we got to do that with a bunch of other guys who are scorers. Just because I average the same amount of points you average, that doesn't mean
I'm not only using that. But
okay, but I think that's where the separator is, and the reason why I think that's where the separator.
Kareem as an example.
Sure.
Let's use one season. Kareem scores 25 a night. KD scores 25 a night.
Yep.
That particular stat is tied. Now you start looking at the other things. Well, KD can also score from the mid-range. KD can also score from the long ball. KD's a better free throw shooter. So KD becomes, okay, he's the better scorer because you look at everything. But when I look at, that's why I said I just use that as one point of the list. So so I'm not saying he's a better scorer because they average the same.
Right. You
that point.
And that part I get. But I think that when we're talking about as a passer, I think Joker is a fantastic passer. I think James is a better passer. I think James is more of a facilitator. I think James at the top of the.
Sorry, Heat Check is on TikTok saying we got to give Trista a shout out and get her on the show next week. So you're on.
Trista a shout out. Yes, absolutely. I think James is more of a facilitator. I think James is as much as I think James is more of a ball handler. I think there's a difference between being a primary ball handler and being a hub. I think Joker is a hub, and I think that they run the offense through Joker. I think that guys operate off Joker. I think James is a better decision maker with the basketball as the primary ball handler. I think that that's the difference between both him and Joker. When we're talking about being a transition player, I think James clears him as a transition player.
100%.
I think James clears him as a transition player. I think James clears him as a finisher at the rim, even in the half court, getting downhill. When we're talking about him being a long ball shooter, I think that even when James was in the middle of his career, he was knocking down the long ball at a 40% clip. He did that when he was at his best. I mean, I think Joker is doing that now, but I think James did it. If I'm not mistaken, he didn't do it at the volume that Joker's doing.
No, he didn't start hitting 40 until it was after the bubble.
No, 13. He was 40% at the long ball line.
Oh, that one. Okay, that
yes,
one.
Sir.
Was it 40 or was it 38? 39?
No, it was 40%. I mean, he was shooting 50. He was shooting almost 60%.
That was
we're talking about
period. But yeah, yeah.
And I can say the same thing about Joker in terms of these things being anomalies. I mean, is Joker really a 44% long ball shooter? No, I don't think so.
I try to look at it over 8 to 10 year stretches for me. I think is my thing. So I think there's a case to be made.
I do too.
As you know, I want to wait and see because I like people to be done before.
Sure.
But to answer, I think Ori's question though, which was
how close is he?
How close? He's super close. I think he might already be there. But he's super close. And it's hard because here's the thing. Even if you agree that it's James or other, I'd probably say it's Magic, but me, I'm biased.
That's who I think it is. I think it's James, then it's Magic, then we get those three guys. We can have a conversation about.
But he's super close. He's in. You can make an argument for Joker, which says he's close. Is there a gap? Yeah, probably. But I think he's super close. I think he's closer than I think a lot of people give it credit for because of all the things he does.
So are you saying that, Tony, that I entered the room because I also think that Wilt is in that category.
Wilt's in that category, although not the assists, like not the playmaking.
There's a difference, Tone, between being able to. I'm in the room. Can I sit at that table, or am I just in the room?
I think LeBron, Magic, and Joker are sitting there having a chat, and Wilt's standing right behind them, just like with his hand on the chair, looking down at them, going, "What are you guys talking about?" Like
you can't sit here yet.
Yeah, you can't sit here, but you're cool. Like you're allowed. Like you're in the VIP section. You probably don't get to sit down and have the champagne.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all. That's all. Okay. I like that analogy. Why is it all these people that we're bringing up are getting injured? Your guy, D. Mitch, is putting up some numbers: 37, 30, 31, 28, 29, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, 15 rebounds. Damn. And then dropping some dimes: 7, 5, 6, 6, 8, 6. Is he now just the best shooting guard in basketball?
I've always felt like that, Tone, and this isn't something that I felt like over like the last like year or 2 years. I've been saying this even when Devin Booker was in the NBA championship, even when Devin Booker was first team, I still thought that Donovan Mitchell was the best two guard in the game. And I'm on record saying it. And you know how I care about, I do care about achievements and things like that. And to your point, I have yet to see a guy, particularly in the Western Conference in this decade, be on the best team in the Western Conference, lead that team in scoring, second in assists, third in rebounding, and not make any all-pro teams. Not one. That's never happened, Tone, ever. So
he didn't get a whiff. Did he even get an MVP
He didn't
vote?
get a sniff. They were the #1 seed in the Western Conference. He not only did he not make first team all-pro or second team all-pro or third team all-pro, he didn't make any of the teams. That's never happened. I think that Donovan Mitchell is still the best two guard in the game. His stop and pop game is just immaculate. His pull-up three is awesome. He doesn't play above the rim as much as he used to, but he still can. I think that those 7, 8 assists that you see, Tone, those could very well be 10, 11 assists. But a lot of those guys don't convert on the stuff that on the plays and shots that he makes for them. And I think that sometimes he does get a disservice. I think that he's been able to anchor this offense. I think that we hear a lot of times from him about him that, you know, this team doesn't get it done in the playoffs. He doesn't get it done in the playoffs. I've seen Donovan Mitchell win playoff series. I've seen him take his team to the playoffs. I've seen him go deep into the playoffs, and I've seen him get busy in the playoffs. So with that being said, I think that with all the other two guards in the game, the example that I always use, Tone, is I see why you married her. She ain't for me. I'm talking about Devin Booker. I'm talking about Anthony Edwards. I see why you married her. She ain't for me, though, and I don't want her.
Gotcha.
I think she's super dope, but I'm going to go with this one over here. And I think it's Donovan Mitchell.
Last thing, Sir Darko, on the anniversary teams. Looking back, it's kind of odd that according to the NBA's 50 team, Shaq was a top 10 center all time in year 4.
In year 4.
Because they picked 10 people from every position. He shouldn't have been on that team.
That was crazy, yo.
Or do you think, am I crazy? Should he have been on in year 4? Was he already a top 10 center of all time?
If I think about the 5 men during that time, Chamberlain, Jabbar, Russell.
Like, did he do enough in 4 years? Yeah, to go over. Like, was he even better than?
He wasn't better than Olajuwon. He wasn't better even in 1997. He wasn't better than Olajuwon. He wasn't better than Jabbar. He wasn't better than Russell. He wasn't better than Chamberlain. I think we can have a conversation about Bill Walton, to be honest with you.
Oh no, Bill Walton shouldn't be on anybody's list.
Yeah,
he didn't play enough. I'm sorry.
I definitely think we should have a conversation about Bill Walton. He wasn't better than Ewing at that point. I don't think he was better than Elvin Hayes, but Elvin Hayes was a 4-man. I'm sorry. Walt Bellamy, maybe. He wasn't better than Willis Reed at that point.
Moses?
He was not better than Moses. No, he wasn't. At that point, nope. In year 4, no.
Yeah, I'm saying year 4. Like eventually, yes, but you.
Moses averaged 25 and 14 for 9 straight years.
Why am I forgetting the first center
from George Mikan?
Yeah, there we go.
George Mikan, sure. Yeah, George Mikan. I mean, I think that there's a bunch of guys that we can have conversation, right? There's a bunch of guys that we can have conversation.
This is why I tell you, no one active should be on these lists.
Yeah,
it just keeps it
clean.
Especially
in year 4.
Yeah, year 4 is too early.
Yeah.
Jamo, Pistons won again. Right now, 12-game win streak. Chill. What does Cade have to do to win an MVP? Does he need to be a 30-plus per game scorer?
No, but I do think that he got to keep winning. Winning matters. Winning 100% matters.
Well, then how's he going to beat SGA? That team might win 80 games this season.
Yes, win. I don't think 30 a game is the bar. because I mean, just because SGA averaged 30 a game, I mean, Joker didn't average 30 a game. If you think about what he did in 22, what he did in 21, when he won it in 21 and in 22, he averaged 26 a game. And when he won it in, I want to say in 24, I think he averaged 26 or 27 a game. SGA averaged 30 a game last year. Luca averaged 34 a game, and he didn't win the league MVP. So I don't think that that's the bar. Even though Joel Embiid won it averaging 30, I don't think that that's the bar. I think that you have to win. You have to do so many other things in order for your team and for your team in order for you to be considered the league MVP.
We have, I think, like I said, the talent in the NBA right now is so phenomenal. We didn't even talk about how ratings are super up, and the face of the league hasn't even played a game yet until tonight. Yep. Oh, I wish we had more time to talk about this one, but the Cavs
yes, we do. We got time for this.
100,000 for violating player participation policy. So basically, what the player participation policy is, you have a certain amount of people on your team that are considered star players, and you can't rest them. So if there's injuries, it's different. You can't just rest them at the same time, or you'll be fined. And the Cavs rested both Dončić and
Mobley.
Just for rest, for no other reason than just for rest, and got fined $100K.
Yep. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, Tone, because I'm in the minority with this. I think this is I think it's a little bit of money. I think that they should definitely be harsher on these. They should be more harsh on these teams than this right here. Tone, I've said this to you in the past. I'm making an example of, I don't know, my nephew loves Tony Parker. They only come down to Miami once a year. And when they come down here, I got these tickets in October. They come down here in January. Come to find out, Tony Parker is a healthy scratch. And he can't play. He's not playing tonight. And my nephew has been talking about this for however long he's been talking about this. And now he's not playing. No. That's unacceptable. It is. That's completely and totally unacceptable. Nope.
I'm the same guy. You want to know what I feel about it? I'm the same guy who said that Steve Ballmer should be forced to sell his team at zero profit and the rest of the money to be distributed to like retired NBA players for cheating the system. And they should void Kawhi Leonard's contract, and he should be banned from the NBA for life for what he did with that tree hugging company. And you want to know what I think about guys load managing? And let's be very, very clear about load management. I want to be, because there's people who are dumb and they just don't know like the definition of things, and they try to make everything the same thing, and it's not. Load management means I am healthy and able to play. There is nothing holding me back, but I've decided, because I got a back-to-back game, or I got a hot date in the city tonight, or I just want to stay at home and play Clash Royale, that I'm not gonna play tonight. I'm gonna throw on my suit and watch the game. That is load management. That is ridiculous. That is something, especially, I think it shouldn't be allowed, especially on the road, where like the Golden State Warriors come to Toronto once per year.
That's it. Once.
My son, Fluent Jr., as we all know, excuse me, I apologize. My son, Fluent Jr., is the biggest Steph Curry fan on the face of the planet. Wears number 30 for basketball. Wears number 30 for baseball. Wears Curry's to play, like everything. It's Curry this, Curry that, Curry everywhere. You're telling me, and you know the pricing in Toronto is ridiculous for tickets. I'm going to buy him a ticket and pay $3,000 for us to go watch a game close enough where he might be able to maybe give him a high five just so that he can say, I'm never going to wash this hand again.
Which, by the way, Tone, before you go any further, we're not sitting upstairs. If we're doing this, we're doing it.
No, we're doing it right.
If we're doing it, we're doing it.
Every favor. I'm calling in Uncle Jack, our friend Jack Armstrong, who's the commentator. Yes, I'm calling in our friend Mrs. Ellie, who is the scorekeeper for the Raptors game. I'm calling in Nate, who's the security guard that I know. I'm calling in Nav Bhatia, the super fan who I did some work with in the automotive industry, to say, hey, anything you could do. Like I'm calling in every favor, right? He's not going to play. He's not going to, or he's not there. He doesn't join the team for the trip because he's taking this road trip off because he's tired.
No.
Because Aisha wants a little bit more attention, or she's going to find it from another dude.
Nope.
Hell no. Hell no.
Shut your damn mouth.
You're playing. You're playing. You need a day off? Do it at home. Do it at home.
Well, we have days off, Tone.
My question. I know. But you asked the question. What do I think? I think 100,000 isn't enough.
I don't think so neither.
I think the team needs to be like, you do this, it's a second rounder. You do it again, it's a first rounder. And the players, it's $1 million. It's $5 million. I don't care.
A game check. How about a game check, Tone? How about that?
You know, I've always said this. I've always said this. If you don't play, you don't get paid.
I'm comfortable with a game check. I am. I am comfortable with a game check.
I'm sorry. Listen, if you don't show up for work, you don't get paid.
I don't think so. I just don't. Do we have some people in the back that we can talk to before we go? You want to get some people up here?
Let's throw up the link. Well, here, I'll throw up the link. And then there's 2 quick topics, I think, actually. We can do them while they jump on. Lakers Jazz historic moment. We talked about this already. So LeBron James 23rd season. I truly believe that LeBron James is going to play 25 seasons.
I don't think it's ridiculous. I think I'm already on record saying that I thought that it was after this year. I thought it was over. I mean, but I wouldn't be surprised if he played 2 more years. Sure. I can't see him playing past 42 though. I can't. I can't see him playing past 42. 25 years. Holy shit.
I'm in the LeBron James business. I like LeBron James playing. I hope he plays forever. Let me get my Let me get my doll up here. Mr. Bronny. That's my bro. That's little Bronny. You got LeBron, you got Bronny Jr., and this is little Bronny. Remember, like Little Penny? I got you. Oh, I know. This was. I was like, we talk about these Clippers clipping again. No. 28,000 points, 11th player in NBA history to do it. Does it mean anything?
Yes, Tone. I think that we don't. I worry about how James Harden is going to be remembered when it's time for him to go. I do worry about that. I worry how history is going to treat him. How is he going to be talked about in years to come because he didn't win an NBA championship? Like, how are we going to talk about this guy?
We're going to talk about him the same way we talk about Karl Malone and Dominique
Barkley.
Yeah, really good, talented player. You know, there's people who are going to hate on him and say, he's a stat patter, couldn't get it done. He played selfishly just to get his points. Oh, it's because he was in that 7-second offense. Yep. You're going to hear all that stuff.
Yep.
And some of it is true. Some of it is not true. Some of it's going to be overblown. Some of it's going to be under. But sadly, that's how he's going to be kind of remembered as, you know, just not enough. There's just not enough because he didn't.
But what I think it's going to do, Tone, I think it's going to lessen.
That's right or wrong.
But that's what I'm saying. But I think it's going to lessen who he was, man, as a bucket
100%
getter.
It will. Yeah.
I think it's going to lessen how awesome he was as a bucket getter, and I don't want to do that, yo.
In 15 years, they're gonna be like, there's gonna be some kids now who are gonna be considered unks, and they're gonna be saying, man, you don't know how good James Harden was. And some kid's gonna say, who, that guy that used to like run backwards and throw it up, like that dude, get out of here. If they weren't playing 7 seconds or less, he wouldn't have done. He couldn't play in today's league.
That's what I mean, man.
That's what's gonna happen. We don't have much. Oh yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna bring up a guess, but if you got
no, go ahead. We good.
All right.
What up?
Is Russ also gonna be a part of that conversation too?
Yes.
Yeah. We're like super talented guy, but you know, just ultimately didn't do enough.
Yep. Russ, Trey Young
too.
Trey's still kind of young though.
No, but he's not winning a chip.
No.
You don't think so, Fluent?
No.
The days of, you know, pass first guards winning championships is over.
He's not a pass first guard.
He's not a pass first guard. He's a shoot first guard who happens to be a really good passer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's not winning a chip. He's not winning a chip.
I don't know.
Do you also think Hallie's not winning one too?
Do you think how? Whoa! Hold on, Tone.
I'm just asking.
He's trying to bait you into saying something. What does Tyrese Halliburton have to do with this?
Oh no, it's just, you know, they kind of play similar in my eyes. In my eyes, they're kind of similar.
Who? Tyrese Halliburton and who?
And Trae Young. And Trae Young. They're
no,
kind
they're
of
not.
the same.
They're not even
for me,
close.
they're in the same camp.
No, they're not even close.
Trae Young is way more
for both elite passers.
Okay, and Trae Young is more of a bucket getter than Tyrese Halliburton is.
True. That is
way
true.
more. So
like significant. Yeah, that is true. I wanted to ask you guys: do you think that LeBron this season? Well, I wanted to ask Fluent this. When do you actually think you guys are going to get off of him?
What do you mean off of him?
Like trade, cut, like.
Oh, you mean the Lakers?
Yeah, like when are you guys like actually going to get off?
No, he's retiring a Laker.
He doesn't go back to Cleveland.
LeBron James business.
No. He does. If him going back to Cleveland would ruin what they're building, and that's not a knock on LeBron. It's they're building something in Cleveland. Let them build it. He doesn't need to go back to Cleveland. He's going to retire. He's going to retire a Laker. They're going to retire his number, but probably both of. Well, yeah, they'll retire both of his numbers. Although
they're going to build a statue of him outside the arena too,
and they're going to build a statue outside him out the arena, 100%. Like he is going to retire a Laker at year 25, and he's.
I'm talking about Cleveland. I ain't talking about the Lakers. No, they definitely build a statue of him outside.
Lakers too.
No way.
Do you think now, like for as long as LeBron has played for the Lakers, are you comfortable calling LeBron a Laker?
Listen. Anyone who's played for the Lakers, I'm comfortable calling him a Laker. And in fact, he's played. I believe by the time he's done in year 25, he will have played for the Lakers for longer than any other teams that he played for in one single stretch.
He's in year 8. He's in year 8 now with the Lakers.
In year 8, so it'll be 10 years with the Lakers. He played 9 with the Cavs, then 4 with the Heat.
He actually 7 with the Cavs.
7, 4, 4, and then this will be 10 with the Lakers. So in fact, he's more a Laker than anything else. He'll probably retire. He should go into the Hall as a Laker. Although he should go in as a Cav properly, but
he might just go in just because of as a Laker.
I think as a Laker, and Jeannie loves him, and Magic loves him, who now is the owner. So yeah, 100%.
It would make sense. I've got just one football question for y'all. I don't know if you guys have seen the drama recently with the whole Chase and Ramsey. Like I wanted to get.
Did he actually spit on him? I didn't see the spit. I only saw the grab and the punch.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Then if he spit on him, then he got what he deserved.
I would have definitely gotten. I would have gotten suspended too, because it would have took all of them dudes to get me off of him. 100%. Spit in my face.
Spitting on someone is just
spit in my face. Yeah, it would have took all them dudes to get me off of him.
You should get like a 2-day, like 2-game suspension just for that.
To be honest with you, I don't care what it is. It's the ultimate disrespect to spit in a man's face.
It really is.
No, you know what it is? It's the ultimate disrespect to get yourself thrown out of a game when you're on my fantasy team and cost me the game. That's what's the ultimate disrespect.
You lost a lot of money on that, didn't you?
I've got this water.
Throw some water at him. All right. I got a couple more people waiting, but
all right, yo, good to talk.
You guys have a good one, all right?
Yo, no doubt.
Jacob.
What up?
Jacob. Oh, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What up?
So there's one thing I can't stand, and it is a narrative following bums. And I say that because I was scrolling upon Instagram today and came across the news that the Cavs got fined $100K, I think, for their violation of the league's playing players protocols.
Sure.
And I go to the comments, and it's the same thing copy and pasted from top to bottom. In quotations, I guess players can't rest now. The reason I have a problem with that is, I'm sure you already hear this coming, but it's probably the same dudes that were screaming about players not playing and teams sitting them last year. The same ones complaining.
Listen, you know,
I don't get it. You can't make a fan happy sometimes, I guess.
What you say? There's players screaming to rest their players?
No. Just fans commenting, just all upset that.
Oh yeah, you can't read.
Teams can't rest.
You can't read comments in IG or X for that matter, because it's all.
I know.
They're all.
I can't tell if it's rage bait or not, because I'm like,
it is. No, it's all rage bait. It's all rage bait.
sometimes it gets me. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like that can't be your actual opinion on it.
That's Jay's burner account.
Yeah. And also, kind of a random question. I'm not sure about you, Fluent, but Chill, I know you talk about boxing, but do you watch or enjoy UFC at all?
I have not gotten into UFC. I'm not a big fan of UFC, unfortunately. But I do know an ass whooping. I do know an ass whooping when I seen one. And I know that Bones Jones is the best to ever do it. I've never. The reason why I'm not a UFC fan, I think it's a control.
I think you mean George St. Pierre.
I think it's a controlled street fight. That's all. It's a street fight with rules. Yeah. That's all that I think it is. I think boxing is a little bit more technique for me. I think it's not less brutal. I think it's just as brutal. But I think that you got to be a little bit sharper as a boxer than you do as a UFC fight. I think a lot of those dudes.
I don't know. There's a lot of UFC guys that are technicians.
Yeah, I'm sure that they are. But when I think about a boxer, especially a boxer that's going up in class, up in weight. I mean, like I got to fight heavier dudes, so I can't get into the all-out brawl that I used to be able to get into. Hands are better, footwork is better. I just think that you're more of a technician as a boxer than you are as a UFC guy. I mean, if I could kick a guy in the mouth and basically end the fight, I mean, that's what you do on the street. And that's not to say that those guys aren't skilled, because to put somebody in the headlock and choke them to sleep and not kill them, that takes skill. That definitely takes skill. I'm just more of a boxing fan than I am a UFC guy.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm a casual onlooker of both. So like if there's a big fight, I'll watch it, but I don't follow either.
You guys don't pay the $80 every few weekends?
No, I don't.
I could just go to a bar and watch two dudes get drunk and get it on.
I don't pay the money, but like I said, people, we had to talk about top 10 or top 5 boxers of all time, and I said my only name that I give you is Mike Tyson. Everyone's like, Mike Tyson's not, or he is, and I go, hey, listen, I was fortunate enough to meet Muhammad Ali once, and he told me Tyson was the greatest. So I'm like, I'm taking his word for it because he knows more than I do, and that's the extent of my boxing knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the Rocky.
That's a good argument right there.
Yeah, right. Like, how can you argue with that?
You can't.
But all right, you guys have a good one.
I appreciate you.
Talk to you.
All right, Ori B, you're going to end us off. Please don't talk about Jokic anymore. Actually, you can if you want. I'm just playing.
Hey, guys. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Just, no. How's it going today, guys?
Good, brother. What's going on?
No, I won't end it on Jokic. I actually have, par for the course of Celtics question. If you were the Boston Celtics and you finished top 6, only top 6, is there a world in which you think it'd be acceptable if you got cleared to bring back Tatum for the playoffs?
Nope. You're not winning the NBA championship. You are not.
Sorry, ask the question again, because I completely forgot that TikTok can't hear the caller. I'm so sorry, guys. Say the question one more time.
Yeah, no worries. I was just asking, like, if the Celtics get a 6 seed or higher, not a play-in, nothing like that, nothing lower, 6 seed or higher, does it make sense, or would it make sense if he gets 100% medically cleared to bring back Tatum for the playoffs?
Okay, so I know Jay and I disagree on this. However, Jason Tatum will be cleared to play in December. If they're smart, they'll wait until after the All-Star game, and if they're in contention, 100%. If he's healthy, they should play him. If he's had the time, like I think a month or two after clearance. So if he's cleared by end of this year, January, February, and you bring him in after the All-Star game for the last 30 games of the season in the playoffs, if he has been cleared that early, and like I said, if they're a top 5-16, like you said, yeah, 100%. Why wouldn't you do that?
Well, that's what I'm saying, but I see Chilltown's going the other way. So
because
I'm
he's
curious
scared
what he thinks.
To everybody else, which is a re-injury and then a longer term, that he's gone and hurt.
I just don't. I don't want to risk that. That's all. I'm all for taking risks. And Jason Tatum is an Iron Man. Previous to him tearing his Achilles, he had played in almost 90% of the games. Like, Jason Tatum doesn't get hurt. He plays all the time. But now we're in a space where, that Achilles, and he's still young. He's only 27 years old. But we're in a space now with that Achilles injury that I have to be very careful about that, because if he re-injures that, that's explosiveness, that's jumping ability, that's my ability to cut, and that can influence not just my game physically, but upstairs too. And I don't want to mess with that, because there's a thin line when it comes to players between being weak and being great. And when you start chipping at a guy's confidence, you'll screw him up. I want Jason Tatum to be super sharp when he comes back.
And to me, that makes a lot of sense. I guess the only way that I lean a little more towards what Fluent's saying is just like, if they're that 6, like I said, is a stretch. I know, but if they're in that 6 area, like, is there a team that is a 1, is a 3 seed maybe, that you look at? Maybe it's the Knicks, and you're like, man, if we had Tatum, this is where he eats. Like, do you reconsider it based on a matchup potentially?
No, because you have a different crew at this point. I mean, your point guard is gone. Your big men, both of your big men are gone. Not only are both of your big men gone, your best player is coming back off of injury, and he's basically got 8 weeks, or like you said, those 30 games. He's got 2 months to get himself acclimated to go. Now you're throwing him into playoff basketball.
And that's why I said only, and that's why, Ori, that's why my point was, if he's cleared by, let's say, the end of this calendar year, and you give him the 2 months of additional, like, now, doing rehab, doing, some work 5-on-5, et cetera, get himself back up. Then after the All-Star break, he has 30 games where you can, limit his minutes and play him a little bit and see, and really ease him into it. So then you ramp him up for the playoffs. Then I'm okay with it. If he's not cleared until the All-Star break, and then you're giving him that month or two to kind of rehab and get, onto 5-on-5, and his first game is the first round of the playoffs, then I would say no, because I think it's a different game, and it's then I would say no. But if he's ready early, like they say he might be, I'm okay with the early. I'm not okay with the late.
Fair enough. Well, great stuff, guys. Always glad you have me. Hope you have a good one.
I appreciate you.
Yep.
It's up to you, because you got to go. All right, we good?
What up?
I believe.
What's going on, man? Appreciate y'all. I definitely appreciate Chill saying something that I pretty much been saying for like the last 300 something days, and that's the NBA is officially a young man's league. I think OKC has set the tone for it. Even though they kind of got a bit of a hospital ring, but you know how I feel about that. I just label it the way I label it. But I'm definitely interested in it. Like, this season is it's pretty interesting, bro. Based on the fact that a lot of young teams is figuring out their way. But you know how upset I am about the 19 players that was drafted before 2010. But I do got to give credit to one of the individual that's still been holding his own. You know, I don't like him not a damn bit, but I got to give credit to Steph Curry. Because Chill, as you said, he been able to put on the cape and just go toe to toe with Wemby and live to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I think what's that, twice this season they got the better of him. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing that I'm realizing, Steph is not going to get outclassed by too many of these young teams. You know what I'm saying? But it happened a couple of years ago with Sacramento, and I told Bobby the Sacramento Kings was going to go another 17 years without seeing the playoffs. After that series was over,
It's looking like that too.
Yeah, it is. I'm counting the years, and I'm gonna tell Bobby when I see his ass too. So
Looking like that too.
I seen it last year. I seen it last year with the Houston Rockets, and even though they got KD this year, and now I'm seeing it with the young regime in the West. Steph is not ready to relinquish anything. Out of everybody from the 2010s, he's looking like he's aging the most gracefully, man. You know, I don't give two damns about what LeBron James is doing.
I just think the problem, Leaf, is it reminds me of John Elway, where if John Elway could have played every other week, he would have still been a top 5 quarterback. He just couldn't do it every week.
Every week, yeah. That
Curry, if Curry is one of those guys who He still got the goods. He just can't do it as frequently
as
because I'm older now. That's all. I still got it. And on any night, I can drop 40 on any of you dudes. On any night, I can give any of you dudes 50. I could do that. I just can't do it like I used to be.
I just can't do it like I used to.
No, I can't do it like that.
I think the thing about Steph Curry is the fact that it's everything about how to play him and how to is you got to do your business early as a defender. You know, if you don't do your business early, bro, all he needs is this much. That's all he needs. That's all he really needs is this much, man. I've said, I mean, I've joked around and said, man, the NBA installed a gravity ball for him. Obviously, he's been able to stand the test of time, bro. Like, I gotta give him credit for that. One more thing
you think he got? How many more years you think he's gonna be around?
As a number one option, as long as he's on Golden State, I think as a marksman, as many years as he want. I mean, like me personally, because that don't die. That don't go away. I mean, he's on his way to shooting another 5,000 threes.
In 3 more years, Chill, he can play 3 more years as his dad.
Yeah.
So he could play 6 more years, y'all thinking?
Bro, I mean, shooting, every team needs a shooter.
I don't think he wants to do that, though.
I don't think he wants to do that, but I mean, listen,
you said can
do it, but I said that. But one thing I want, one thing else I want to go over before I leave today is the Detroit Pistons. I'm seeing something in them, and I saw it the other night. I don't know if Chill, you seen the same thing. There was a little mix-up between Asar Thompson and Jalen Duran, who was a grown-ass man. I thought he was a grown-ass man at age 19 when he came in, bro. Like, but listen, this dude is the real deal, bro. Like, he is, listen.
If you didn't know him and you saw him on the street, he looked like he got a job somewhere where it's a lot of work.
They think he's
he looked like he got a job, bro, where it's a lot of hard labor. It's a lot of hard pickup. That's not a dude that I'm going. That's not a dude that I'm going next to and be like, hey, yo, what up? And then you find out he's 19 the entire time, just doing hard labor fresh out of high school, bro. I mean, like, nah, I'm not doing that. The thing about it is, well, the Pistons always had grown men in the middle, bro. This go back to Bill Lambert and them, bro, like, and Bob Lanier. So this don't really surprise me at all. But I think they've turned somewhat of a corner, and a lot of people said it from last year because I do believe the Tangerines got lucky in that first round series. You know, I don't give 2 damns about what they do, ever. So I mean, but that's another team. That's another team that's gonna be forever on my shit list. I feel the same way about them that I Fluent feel about the Slippers. So I mean, it is what it is. But I think the Pistons is on to something. I honestly,
I'm sorry.
Hey, Leaf, we got to bounce, brother. It's good to talk to you, though, my man. I appreciate you, my dude.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
They're gonna always be Buffalo for Tone.
They gonna always be the flip. They always gonna be the flippers, right? Just flip them. Just flip them upside down. Flip them like an egg. Flip them.
Yeah.
Good to talk to you, Lee. They're gonna always be Buffalo, no matter what Tone
Buffalo
does.
Braves. I don't care how many years it'd be. 100 years from now, they gonna be the Buffalo Braves. Unless they move, like I'm telling you, they can move and turn things around.
Even if they go to San Diego, they're still gonna be Buffalo.
You need to remind me next week when we bring on the callers. Just say, "Hey, mic up the callers," so that TikTok can hear them because I completely missed the first couple too. So my apologies. That's my technical bad. I can do it in a couple of different ways actually, But that being said, what time is playback tonight?
In about 10-15 minutes.
Oh, 10-15 minutes? Okay, go to playback. Go to Player's Choice on playback. Check out Chili's doing some
Trailblazers and the Suns.
Trailblazers and the Suns. Even though you should be doing Lakers and the Jazz.
I'm sure we're going to cut into that. I'm certain of that. That we'll cut into the Lakers and the Jazz, especially if James is back. But speaking of back, you know where to find me and my man Tony Tone. We are here every Tuesday night, 8:30. For right now, it's 8:30 for right now, but we will get back to 8 o'clock. But this is where you find us every week, me and my man Tone. We bring you quality basketball talk. We will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When's the last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. Talk to you guys soon, man. But until then, take it light. Take it. Absolutely, man. It's good to see you guys tonight. This was dope.
I think I talked to her today.
Good.
Fluent and chill, we call it how it's played from the field to the court. Every legend gets weighed. Fourth quarter heat, over 2-minute drill. If you can't handle truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron and J.